A very good morning to all the students. This is the lecture number 15 for the subject switchgear and protection. So today in this topic we are going to discuss regarding the protection of lines. Okay. So before starting this topic, let us discuss why we have to discuss in detail the protection of lines. So the probability of the fault occurring on the line is much more than the other equipments because the transmission line is greater in length and the more is the exposure it experiences to the atmospheric conditions. So probability of fault on the lines is much more as compared to the fault on the equipments named generators, transformers and the bus bars. So the scheme used for the protection is somehow different from the schemes used for the alternators and the transformers. The most promising schemes for the alternators and the transformers are the differential relay scheme. But here, due to the greater length of the line, differential relay scheme cannot be employed because more is the length of the line, more is the pilot wire needed to connect the two current transformers at the two ends. So this increases the cost for the protection scheme to a greater extent. So for the protection of the lines, we have different strategy for the protection of lines or different protection schemes for the protection of the lines. So before discussing these schemes, let us discuss what are the requirements for the protection scheme used so that it can comfortably protect the line from any type of fault. So the first requirement is in the event of short circuit, agar if any short circuit occurs on the line, the circuit breaker must operate that is close to the fault. The rest of the circuit breakers will remain in closed position. Okay. So in case the short circuit occurs on the line, the nearest circuit breaker will only open its contacts. Rest of the circuit breaker will remain in a closed position. So the second requirement is in case the circuit breaker nearest to the fault do not open, so backup some kind of backup protection must be provided so that the other circuit breakers after elapsing some time may operate. Okay. So the third is operating time should be selected for the relay should be as small as short as possible to preserve the concept of stability without the unnecessary trippings of the circuit. So these are the three criteria which will decide which protection scheme will be the best for the application needed. So the three criteria are summarized as in the event of short circuit, the nearest circuit breaker will operate, rest of the circuit breaker will close its position. The second criteria being the if the nearest circuit breaker fails to operate, then the backup protection for the circuit breaker is provided so that the adjacent circuit breaker will operate. The third criteria is the relay operating time should be just as short as possible so that without gaining the stability, so without being the system in unstable mode, it remain in the stability mode without tripping of the protective circuit. So by looking at these three factors, these are the three methods for use for the protection of lines. These are named as time graded overcurrent protection, the second one named as differential protection, and the third one named as distance protection. So figure 1 shows the symbols indicating the various types of relays. So symbol 1 indicates overcurrent non-directional relay, symbol 2 indicates directional relay, symbol 3 differential, and the fourth symbol shows the impedance relay. So in today's topic, we are going to discuss with the first method, that is time graded overcurrent protection. So in the time graded overcurrent protection, what we have to study, so this particular category of scheme, time graded overcurrent protection, in this particular category of scheme, time discrimination is incorporated. Okay? Or we can say that this particular category of relays deals with the time discrimination. Time setting of relays is so graded that the in the event of fault, the smallest possible part of the system is isolated. Okay, in order to understand this, this what is time graded, how we are going to implement, we are going to discuss the first method known as the radial feeder method. The main characteristics of a radial feeder. The main characteristics of a radial feeder means the direction of power flow is only in one direction. तो सबसे बड़ा characteristics है कि जो power flow की direction है, that remains only in one direction. We can say that from generator or supply end to the load. So it has, due to this characteristics, it lags behind a major disadvantage, that continuity of supply cannot be maintained at the receiving end in the event of fault, because there is only one direction from generator to the receiving end. If a fault occurs, then continuity of the supply cannot be maintained. So time graded protection for radial feeders is done by using definite time relays and inverse time relays. So when we are going to discuss regarding the definite time relays, so in definite time relays, there is one generator, there is this is a transformer, this whole is a transformer, there are the mode circuit breakers, two, three, there are four circuit breakers named as A, B, C, D. So this circuit breaker will operate at a time of 0.5 second, this will operate at a 1 second, this will operate at the 1.5 second, and this will operate at a 2 second. Okay. So in this, what is going to happen if let us suppose that this is a series connection of feeders supplying from generator to the load side. Series connection of generators, we can assume it like that. These are the series connection of generators, and there are series of feeders connected in series. So if a fault occurs on this particular section, like DE, if a fault occurs in this particular section DE, so the nearest circuit breaker will operate, named as in 0.5 second, the nearest circuit breaker will operate. If it fails to operate, the next to this circuit breaker will operate after a lapse of more 0.5 seconds, that is 0.5 second plus 0.5 second, that is 1 second. So after 0.1 second, the circuit breaker will operate. So there are series of circuit breakers connected in series. So the distance between these two circuit breakers is in kilometers. Okay. There is only one disadvantage which we are looking now, is that there are number of feeders in series. The tripping time for the fault nearer to the supply end. Okay, the tripping time that remains for the fault nearest to the supply end will become the 2 seconds, greater than the all other circuit breakers. Okay, so the time is limited to maximum of 2 seconds. So this is a major disadvantage. If a fault occurs nearer to the supply end, if a fault occurs, then circuit breaker will take approximately 2 seconds to operate. So this is a graph showing the operating time with respect to distance. So as the distance increases from the supply end, the operating time is going to reduce, as we can see in these letters. As the distance from the generating side increases, the time required for the operation of the relay get reduced. So to overcome this advantage, there is another category known as universe inverse time relay, which we will discuss in the next class. Thank you, guys.